Hey guys, what's up? It's Andy Stickle. Wanted to tell you a really cool story. We were talking to a client today. With our agency, we typically will meet with our clients once a month, and some of our clients are really savvy salespeople, which is pretty cool. They're all lawyers for the most part, and we were talking to a lawyer today who basically brought up a really good point. And this is kind of something that I've been saying for a long time, and he was telling us an interesting story. A lot of times we talk to lawyers and they tell us, well, we're getting a lot of leads, but nobody has any money. Nobody has money for a lawyer. Nobody wants to hire a lawyer or anything like that. And the reality is that you have to think, nobody actually wants to hire a lawyer. People love their money. They don't want to part with their money. And most of the time when lawyers and legal fees come into the picture, it's an unexpected circumstance. Usually someone was just arrested, or they were just served divorce papers, or whatever the situation happens to be. It's often not a planned event. Now, personal injury attorneys, obviously, this really doesn't apply to you because there's not a whole lot of transactional work that happens with personal injury attorneys. But family law, criminal defense, bankruptcy, estate planning, even any of these types of clients, this is really applicable for. You have to remember, first of all, that nobody wants to spend money, but everybody, for the most part, can find money somewhere. And if you think about this, people, they're mostly motivated by avoiding pain and avoiding loss. So, for example, if someone's about to lose their freedom, or about to lose their license, or about to lose custody of their kids, or about to lose their house, or anything like that, they'll find the money. And it's typically, it might not be them. They have access to family members that have money. They have access to loans. They have access, and this is actually where I'm going with this story. We were talking to a client, and he was saying that he was working with a client of his own, and it was a family law case, and the case was dragging out, and it was going to litigation, and they were just they were out of money. He ran through the retainer, not ran through the retainer, but they were out of money, and they needed more money for the retainer. So, what he told me, he told his client, is that, look, this is what needs to happen. If you don't do this, this is a highly contested case. If you don't do this, you are going to have to pay all this extra money in child support. You're going to have to pay all this money in spousal support. So you really can't afford not to have a lawyer. If you want money in the future, you need to find the money right now. So what you need to do is you need to walk out to the mailbox and start filling out those pre-approved credit card offers that you have. And you know what? He told me the client went home next day, had the money. He had a credit card. So it's a great story. It's a great lesson where nobody wants to spend money. I don't want to spend money. You don't want to spend money. Nobody wants to spend money, especially on something like legal fees, because you got to remember, no offense, nobody wants to hire a lawyer. They want the benefit that hiring a lawyer brings to them, but they don't want to hire a lawyer. It's kind of like, somebody told me once before, it was a really good analogy. If nobody wants, people buy shovels because they want a hole in the ground. If there was something that would get a hole in the ground without a shovel, then the shovel industry would go out of business. It's just kind of interesting like that. So lawyers are a lot like shovels, no offense, but nobody wants to hire a lawyer. They want the result that hiring a lawyer gets them. So when you couple the fear of loss with the desire to want to have money in the future, and then you understand that when people when their back's against the wall and they're facing a loss of something, either loss of their freedom, loss of their driving privilege, loss of their kids, loss of their house, loss of whatever it could be, then miraculously most of the time they find the money. And it could be loans, it could be family members, it could be pre-approved credit card offers that they get in the mail. Somehow they're going to find the money, and that's something that you have to remember. You've got to stop believing people when they say they don't have the money. When push comes to shove, they will find the money. And just remember the story of my client who told his client, look, I don't know what to tell you. You need to go start filling out pre-approved credit card offers. And that's what he did. They did it. They got the money. So just keep that in mind. It's a new way of thinking. I know it's a little scary to sometimes ask for the money, especially when people are calling you and asking for all kinds of advice, and then they say, oh, I don't have any money for a lawyer. But the reality is that they can find it if you really emphasize how much money it's going to cost them if they don't have a lawyer, and if they want to not have, if they want to continue having money in the future, then it's a lot cheaper for them to hire you now. So hopefully this is kind of, hopefully this maybe turn on a few light bulbs for you. Let me know how this works for you in the comments. Very interested to know if you try this and if it works for you. We do it a lot of times with some of the stuff that we're working on, and we find it works very well. So, all right, guys. Well, talk to you soon. Thanks.